It's kind of like hard question. I'd say I understand the Eightfold Path very well.
Hmm.
It's my favorite thing to talk about, actually. I kind of still get confused with the different, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like the different Buddhas, I guess, or the different figures, because there's so many.
Oh,
I
I
kind
see.
of
I
confused
see.
with that. Um,
In the temple, right? You mean?
Yeah, in the temple, but even just like during our Friday sessions we'll read stories and whatnot about like the different disciples and stuff like that. And there's so many, I get confused with those very easily.
Mm.
But in terms of like the basis, like
The Four
uh
Noble Truth and the Eightfold Path.
yeah, I'm pretty well versed with those. Most of the way that I learned Buddhism is through what's his name? I always think I pronounce it wrong,
Oh,
but
Thích Hằng Đạt. You mean
yes,
Trung Quần,
yes.
Dr. Trung Quần.
Yes. And
Um, how
um
long you been in
Titch
his class?
for I was inconsistent when I went to my first semester of college because I was really busy with work. But we met like a year ago
Mm.
in April. But I just started getting pretty consistent with its classes,
Which
maybe
school you
like
are going? Which school you?
University of Houston.
Okay, did you take his
Yeah.
class at school?
No, I don't take it yet. I don't take it yet.
Okay, you are sophomore or uh,
I'm finishing my freshman year.
oh, freshman year? You go
I
into
just
the sophomore next year.
I just moved to Houston in January. And so that's when I
Oh,
kind of became more consistent with taking his classes because the temple is there as well. So yes, January. And then I read a lot of Thich Nhat Hanh.
Thích Nhất Hạnh,
Mm,
right?
yeah, I read
Yeah,
a lot of his books. So
that's
a,
good. That's good.
a lot of my Buddhism knowledge comes from him.
That's
So it's
good.
more of like the principles of it and not necessarily kind of like the different figures and the more
Mm-hmm.
like
Okay, got it,
cultural,
got it, got it, got
historical.
it.
But I'm interested in learning that as well. So,
Okay, okay. Yeah, I will give you a quick summary later. So and also what makes you interested in Buddhism?
I think it makes the most sense. It's literally like puzzle piece.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
compare my life before I started getting
mm,
into it. It was horrible. I wasn't
mm,
living like I wasn't on the right path. And just
mm,
when I started to implement different Buddhist philosophies to my life, I could
mm,
see it greatly improve, like for
mm,
sure. So I just think it's the way to live. Even if you don't follow as a religion, the philosophy itself, it makes the most sense.
mm.
So
The Buddhism is not only religion, but it's also
mhm.
philosophy of life, or we also say that the science of the mind.
Mm.
Okay, so it's very much aligned with the science, right? Buddha is just like a scientist, but that scientist is more than 2,500 years ago. Mm, mm. So and uh the way I share the Buddha teaching is I try to use as much as nowadays modern science. So when we use that to demonstrate the Buddha teaching, I think it makes more sense, right? To nowadays people. I think it's easy for them to get a hold of it, and easy to maybe it help them to apply to their daily life as well. What do you think? William, can you tell yourself about the way you feel about the Buddhism to her so she can get some.
Yeah, well, I liked how you put it, like puzzle pieces, where how you said like it just fit, it matches, and it makes sense. Um, I I definitely agree with that. Where most any other system I've been exposed to, there's some sort of any other set of teachings, there's some sort of gap. There's some sort of big question that's not integrated in. There's some parts where like it just doesn't quite make sense, or its answers actually pose more questions. But in Buddhism, one thing is when you get to the teachings that go beyond duality, it just seems like mathematical. Like it seems like any other teaching that doesn't address duality and the essential nature that's like where duality comes from, but is beyond it. It just speaks to like not as complete of an understanding. So I'd say it's really the scope of the understanding, the effectiveness of the teachings, and just how you can really prove them to be true through experience and through practice. And it's so expansive. I mean, the number of sutras and all of the depth, the like exhaustive explanations that really address things way beyond I would even consider addressing or think about wanting to know about.
The Buddha, when he that means he teaching his when that means he give his teaching for 49 years, more than 300 assembly, and the sutra that he spoke, it's you're talking about few thousand book, not only few book. Why so many sutras like that? Because the Buddha focused on the mind. That means the mind, the sickness of the mind, right? Can you be able to imagine how many sickness of the mind do we have? William?
Oh, it's innumerable, I would think. There's probably all sorts of different ways to get tangled up.
Yeah, that's why the Buddha focused on the mind. Therefore, because we have so many different type of sickness of the mind. Therefore, the Buddha teaching is just like the remedy, right? To take care of the sickness of the mind. So depend on the sickness, the patient, right? When a patient have a headache, they can take Tylenol or whatever. If they have a stomach ache, right, they can take whatever the medicine related to the stomach ache. They know one medication fit for all. Does it make sense? So the Buddha teaching is exactly like that. Therefore, why the Buddhist sutra is so many. Sutra is just like the scripture that represent for the Buddhist teaching. So and also most when I start out with the Buddhist with the teaching of the Buddhism, I shared the consciousness only. That is one of the very difficult topics of the Buddhism, but it's also one of the important topics of all. What is consciousness only? It means that in the consciousness only, it covers 4 different areas. The first area is the medical view. The medical field, you can call it the medical field, the psychology as well. They also cover the morality and metaphysics. And and even though when I share the Buddhist teaching, I usually use the constant model to demonstrate the profound teaching of the Buddha. So that align with the science, so we can be able to understand the profound meaning a little bit easier. Don't you think, William? Right?
Yes.
So so I will repeat the model over and over again, so you will be able to remember. You will be able to understand it. Once you understand it, it's just like a key. it will unlock the most profound teaching, like the Mahayana teaching in Buddhism. It can unlock those profound teaching of the Buddha. So you can even so, but anyway, I just want to but also in the Mahayana teaching, it's when we have a problem like affliction, right? Affliction is due to our ignorance and due to our desire. Therefore, we have affliction. And when we understand the teaching, we can be able to transform the affliction to non-affliction. That is the beautiful teaching of the Buddha. You don't have to remove it. You don't have to get rid of it. You just change it. Just like a hand, they have both sides, right? The back side of the hand, it represents for affliction. And the fun side of the hand, it represents for the happiness. You just change it. You just transform it by changing your perspective, changing the way that's how you see things in the world. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
This is important. So when you learn with us, I hope that you be patient. Because you just jump in the middle of it's okay, but it's not too bad. But just be patient, and gradually you will understand it, and you can then pick up from there. Okay. All right. Let's start with our class. Let's do this. Okay, William, go ahead and
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay, thank you. Let me briefly summarize the figure in Buddhism you just asked me. Well, in Buddhism we have numerous Buddha, not only one Buddha, numerous. And the world we are living right now, we call the Saha world. The Saha world is not only the earth, but it also includes all the 6 paths of the reincarnation. That means Deva, or we call the heaven being, and human, Asura, animal realm, the hungry ghost realm, and the hell realm. And all this combined together, it's equal to 3 billion world system. 3 billion world system. It hosted by the Sakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha we call the historical Buddha, the one that born in India, 623 BC. That means more than 2,500 years ago. And also under the Buddha, we have numerous Bodhisattva. Also, it's a Buddha disciple. The Bodhisattva is the one who benefit themselves, also benefit others. And they are the one who willing to benefit others, to perfect their practice of love and kindness and compassion until they fulfill all the vow that they make to benefit others. One they fulfill all their vow, they become the fully enlightened one. We call the Buddha. Does it make sense so far?
Yes.
And we also go down to the Pasika Buddha or the Arahat one. They are the one that who practice and be able to the the Arahat one is the one who practice the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, be able to attain the enlightenment, and they are no longer. That means they are be able to liberate themselves from the death and rebirth cycle. They're no longer in this death and rebirth cycle, and they are free from it. One, they are attend the enlightened, and they are one they leave their body. That means after they pass away, they will enter into nirvana. That means the ultimate bliss, and they have no motivation to benefit living being. That is different from the bodhisattva. They also the Buddha disciple. Does it make sense so far?
Yeah.
The Pasika Buddha a little bit higher than Arhat, but it's low than the Bodhisattva. They are the one who practice the traveling ordinate dependent. That means that there is traveling, and I already if you want, I can give you the link. You can go in there and listen to all the lecture that I provide. We done this class for some time, and one they also contemplate on the traveling. They be able to attend the enlightenment. And when they give up the body, they also enter into the nirvana as well, the ultimate bliss. They have no motivation to benefit the living being, just like the bodhisattva. Okay, so but we do respect and honor all the enlightened one, regardless who they are. Okay. I hope I give you very brief. I hope that help you a little bit. Okay.
But I have a question. So I thought in the Mayahana tradition, like compared to the Theravada,
Mm-hmm.
they choose to stay here and to
Which tradition to stay here? Do you know?
Mayahana, like
Yeah.
it's more like helping yourself, but like also helping free other people as well, like helping other people as well. And I'm not sure if maybe I didn't interpret it correctly, but when you're going down the list, now you're saying like when they attain nirvana, do they kind of come back and um share their wisdom with others to try to help other people free themselves?
In the Mahayana teaching, the core teaching of the Buddha is to resolve the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta, it means that the mind that want to benefit other, right? To the motivation of the love and kindness and compassion. That means even though yes, one they done with it, and Bodhisattva they make the vow to benefit living, and the vow it will take lifetime, many lifetime, maybe depend on their vow, how they make to benefit other, and their vow can be fulfilled for a while. So maybe 100 lifetime, or even 1,000, or even more. But to benefit the living being, that means they will evolve in this world here and try to help others to fulfill their vow. That's the benefit. They do not cut off the link with the sentient being or living being, because to the bodhisattva, from the bodhisattva eye, all living being is the what you call the one that who have the Bodhisattva always have the great gratitude toward the living being. Why? You know why? Because they are the living being is the one that help the Bodhisattva to perfect the practice of patience, practice of loving kindness, practice of compassion. So therefore, the Bodhisattva always think the living being is the pleasant field. That means when we're talking about the field, that means just like a forming field, right? It's a very big. And that means the sentient being is considered to be the blessing field. The blessing is generally, they are the one who bring blessing to the Bodhisattva. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yet, but even though the Bodhisattva who is the one help them and who is the one help the living being to help them to go on the right path and eventually help them to reach the enlightenment. But they have to struggle a lot of things, and Bodhisattva have to use all kind of different experience means to be able to do that through patience, loving kindness, compassion. And in this class today, we learn about here. I show you, and we learned this class. I think it's maybe a few months, 6 months already. I think I'm not so sure. Forgot. They call a guide to the Bodhisattva way of life. That means this is the guide that help the Bodhisattva how to walk on the Bodhisattva path. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So but the Theravada, they are a little bit different. They only benefit themselves, but it's okay. We still respect them anyway, because they are the one truly enlightened, right?
Mm.
We are not, so we should respect our enlightenment one. But one day attain enlightenment, Arhat or Pasika Buddha, they will just want to enter nirvana to enjoy the ultimate bliss, and they have no motivation. Why the Theravada view and the Bodhisattva view so different? William, do you have any idea?
Yeah, so the Theravada was what the Buddha originally taught, because the people initially weren't ready to hear the Mahayana. They would have been filled with doubt and perplexity. Like they couldn't imagine that they could become Buddhas. So the Buddha initially taught something that they could accept and they could aspire to, and gradually bring them along until he could teach them, the great vehicle. But really the Theravada is directly in line with the Mahayana. It actually is part of the Mahayana, because it's an expedient means used to rescue living beings. So it's born out of the Buddha's compassion. It's in alignment with compassion. And once those beings, after they achieve nirvana, at some point they'll be moved to compassion. They'll be moved to the Bodhisattva way. So I'd say that's the core distinction. I think that really the faith, because the Buddha makes it really clear that even his foremost disciples can't really fully grasp the law that they will one day become a Buddha. It's through their faith in the Buddha that they're able to accept it. And so I think it's really a degree of faith, also wisdom, because I think, if we're wise, we will have faith in the teachings. But yeah, that's the belief that they can become Buddhas.
Yeah, you bring up a very good one. Though basically, when the Buddha, after he enlightened, right, became a Buddha, and he started out with the teaching of the Theravada. Well, the first teaching is a Doman Cloud Sutra. That is the supreme teaching, but that's okay. That is the first teaching, but only to the Bodhisattva, to the great Bodhisattva, his audience. But after that, he spent quite a long time to teach Theravada teaching. Because just like you have to teach from the most basic one first, right? Help them to understand the basic, just like the elementary student. You cannot bring the college level and teach them. They cannot be able to understand it. So the Buddha start out with the Theravada teaching to make sure that other people to be able to understand it. And when they understand it, and later on, the Buddha begin of the Mahayana teaching more profound. And this is related to the Bodhisattva path. That the ultimate goal of the Buddha teaching is he want all the living beings to be able to attain the Buddhahood. That means through the Bodhisattva practice. And then the difference between the why the Theravada view and the Mahayana view is so different, because to the Theravada view, they see everything is delusion. It's not real. You know what does that mean, Raja?
I mean, yeah, like delusion. I just never. I'm trying to like process how they.
Okay, why it's delusion? Well, basically, they everything in this world, right? It's impermanent.
Yeah.
Even now, our own body, right? Our own physical body, is that permanent? But do we really understand this body impermanent? We don't. We don't see like that, right? We always think, oh, this body it's real. And that's why when our body change, right? Aging, sickness, and death, what happened to us? We suffer. Or when somebody touch our body, harm our body, we strike back. Why? Because we think it's real. Don't you think?
Mm.
And what about our emotion? Do you think the emotion is real? Feeling is real?
To to me, yes, but I can acknowledge that it's there.
But the emotion is stay with you forever? Or
No,
it
it's
come and
permanent.
go?
They come and go.
Yeah, it's impermanent. If it's real, that means nothing changed. It always stay with you forever.
Oh,
That's what we consider to be real. But practically, nothing in this world is real, because impermanent. Does it make sense?
yeah.
Therefore, it's not real. Even our emotion. What happened if, let's say that when we have the happy feeling, and we attach to our happy feeling, what happened when the happy feeling go? What
Suffer.
happened to us? We suffer, right?
Yeah.
But what happened if we have the feeling of sadness, and we don't think it's impermanent, but we see it's real, and we attach to that suffering, attach to that sadness feeling? What happened to us?
We also suffer.
More suffering. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because we do not see it impermanent. We don't see it delusion.
Oh.
Now we understand everything. It include our emotion. It impermanent. Therefore, yet when something happened to us, we feel sad. It's okay, but we'll quickly realize it, and we quickly let go.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
That's how you be able to change from affliction to non-affliction, to the perspective.
It's my first time hearing kind of about like the delusion part of it. Like I was familiar with impermanence, but to me it was like if I'm sad, I realize like okay, it's gonna come and go, and I just like watch it come and go. But I've never like thought about it not being emotions not necessarily being real. So
But
the way you put it,
even though you know the emotion, it come and go, but
yeah,
yes, but we still hold on to it.
Mm.
Can you really let go? No, it's not easy, right? To let go. That's why a lot of people, they have depression. The depression is because of attachment to emotion. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
That important. Therefore, now we understand that even the emotion is impermanent. It's not real. Remember, anger is not me. I am not the anger. Why should I get angry?
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we get angry because we think anger is me. Anger is I. Anger is the self, right? That's why we get angry.
So
I
do we
hope that.
separate ourselves from the anger?
Well, when we attach to the self, you know what is the self? SELF, the
Self?
I, the self, right? We attach to the emotion, and we think that emotion is really me. Now, if someone trigger our anger, we will get angry. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But if we don't attach to those things, we know it's impermanent. Yet if someone trigger our anger, maybe we very quickly realize it. And we also try not to get angry. And I do have the Buddhist psychology model for that, how to manage the anger. Yeah. Okay, later on I will show you. But what about our thinking, our perception? Is that real? Is that permanent?
No.
If let's say that somebody invents something, if what happened if your invention was stolen by other? What happened to us?
Suffer,
We
angry.
suffer because we think that that invention comes from my thinking,
Huh.
right?
Yeah.
But yet, even though from my thinking, but also the invention, if we borrow a lot of idea from other people as well, don't you think?
Yes. All the time.
All the time, right? When we write a thesis for, or we write an essay for something, we sometimes borrow idea from other. Why do we say that? That idea purely my idea. There's no such thing called purely my idea. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
That make us suffer.
Mm.
But when you realize that, yes, the mind, the thinking, it's come and go. Which one is us? Nothing. When you understand the nature of impermanent, then you are quickly, yet if someone really stole our idea, it's okay. What can we do?
Mm.
Many times we borrow the idea from others. It's okay too, right? So then we will not suffer as much as the people who attach to their thinking, right? That's why impermanent, it makes the thinking become not real. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so on and so on like that. So therefore, the difference between Theravada view and the Mahayana view. The Theravada view see everything is not real. Not true. Even living being is not real. Because we change each time when we evolve in the death and rebirth cycle. Our figure is changed due to our own karma. Did you see that? Do you see all the mom in the world give birth to the same baby? The same figure?
No.
No. Many baby come out differently. Why? Due to its own karma. Who give us the karma? We are the one who did that in the past. No one give us. Karma, that means action of the mind, the mouth, and the body. The mind is the king of the mind control the mouth and the body. Right? Okay. So therefore, the Tevada do not have any motivation to benefit living being, because they think that those living beings is not real.
Mm.
And in Tevada teaching, Buddha do not have the Bodhicitta teaching that related Mahayana to benefit others. Therefore, they cannot be able to practice the Bodhisattva path. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Mahayana teaching, the Bodhisattva and Buddha also see all phenomenon as well as living being. It's not real. The same thing with the Theravada teaching. But the Bodhisattva and Buddha, due to that, the compassion and love and kindness arise from that. Why? Because all the living beings, yes, the Buddha and Bodhisattva, and even the Arhat and Pasika Buddha, they all see everything is not real. But the living being like us see everything is real. Therefore, we suffer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When we have a new iPhone, what happens if we accidentally drop it on the floor? We break it. What happened to us?
Get mad, sad.
We suffer because we think that iPhone is real.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
The Buddha see that all living beings see things it's real. Therefore, they suffer. That's what we call ignorance in Buddhism. The word ignorant is applied for this situation. Because we are ignorant and we see everything is real, therefore we pray a lot of bad karma. You see the war going on between Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Hamas. All those things come from where? From our arrogance, our hatred, right? Because they see things real. If they don't see things real, they not go to war, don't you think?
Mm.
When therefore, Buddha and Bodhisattva see all living beings see everything is real. And the whole idea, the love and kindness and compassion arrive from them. They want to make sure they want to bring the living being see things real, turn them into see things not real. This is called the wisdom, or we call enlightenment. Enlightenment. I hope I make some sense to you.
No, you make sense. I don't want to take up William. I know you're probably
It's
waiting.
okay. It's
I
okay.
have so many questions
No,
and stuff.
that's okay. It's a good time to review for William as well. Don't you think, William?
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, this is definitely part of it. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about bodhicitta and to the desire to benefit living beings, and the teachings of the Buddha are to benefit people, and you're coming here to learn, and you're, benefiting from it. So I'd say this is studying bodhicitta.
But I hope that I give you the overview.
Oh yeah. a lot of insight. I'm doing a lot of thinking right now. My head is a lot of thinking.
It's over.
No, no, not overwhelmed. Just the way you put it was like really, really well. Like a lot of new perspectives. So
So, but right now, William, you understand the different view of Theravada and Mahayana, right?
Yes.
It's very important. This is a very, very, a lot of people, they call themselves as Buddhism, and they follow Buddhism for a while, but they still not be able to distinguish like this.
Mm.
It's not easy to see it.
Mhm.
If they do not have a chance to recite the Adornment Flower Sutra, in the Adornment Flower Sutra, this is where the Buddha give a very accurate distinction. Okay. Anyway, so but anyway, that's okay. Let move on. We start our class, I guess. Well, we still have 10 minutes. That's not bad. Uh, mm. I'm glad that you asked.
sorry.
No, 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 don't feel bad. I'm
There's
glad.
nothing to apologize for.
It is very good to ask, actually. Um, okay, let's start from here. William, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, where I'm going. I thought they,
Hmm.
mm,
Right here.
mm.
All right. The excellence and benefits of bodhicitta, the reasons for the benefits of bodhicitta. The original verse. If even the thought of relieving living creatures of merely a headache is a beneficial intention endowed with infinite goodness, then what need is there to mention the wish to dispel their inconceivable misery, wishing every single one of them to realize boundless good qualities? Santideva uses the example of the great merit that arises from a beneficial intention directed merely at relieving the suffering of others' headaches as a standard comparison. If the merit from such a limited intention is so great, what need is there to speak about the limitless merits of a bodhisattva's pure intention? His intention deriving from his bodhicitta motivation is to separate all sentient beings from their suffering and lead them to the highest state of enlightenment. The bodhisattva works not only to bring sentient beings temporary happiness, but also to lead them to the ultimate happiness of Buddhahood.
One thing before you summarize, one thing I just want to in Buddhism there is no hierarchy, but the higher state it depends on the level the enlightenment. Okay, it's not there is no such thing called Buddha is the highest and the Bodhisattva. No, it just depend on the enlightenment mind, right? That's how you can consider the higher or not higher. Okay. Okay, go ahead, William.
These verses are, it's comparing, well, the backdrop is the first verse, which is about, because previously it discussed the benefits that the Buddha gained when he had, in a previous life, he had fallen into a hell realm where people were suffering with terrible headaches because of their bad karma. And this like deep thought of compassion arose within him that he would love to free all of these people from their suffering, from their headaches, and he would take it all on himself. And that thought actually was the cause for his, I think it was immediate rebirth in a heavenly realm. So the Buddha told this story as a way to help the disciples understand the benefits of compassion, of thinking of others. And then this is saying if the merit from that intention is so impressive, how much more then is the merit from the intention to relieve people of all of their sufferings and to establish them in Buddhahood?
Mhm.
So it's just a way to, this is done over and over to demonstrate how inconceivable the benefits of bodhicitta are. Even just the intention of bodhicitta, not only the actions that go from that intention, but the intention itself is inconceivable in benefits.
Hmm. You can also read about a lot of the Buddha former life or the past life of the Buddha, and he sacrificed so many. Each lifetime in the past, he sacrificed his own life to benefit others. It's uh, unbelievable. Yeah, the one of the story that William he just mentioned it. Yes, when Buddha, when he was many countless life in the past, when he's still a common person like us, and he well, he want to go with his friend, right? Go far away from his own town to do some business. And you know what? He lived with his mother. She is kind of old, and she lived by herself with she have only one son, right? And now the son want to go out and go far away and leave her alone and to do business with his friend. And you know what? She uh holding his feet and don't want him to leave. And you know what he did? He stepped on the mom's head and to try to get out of it and try to keep going. Due to that heavy karma he prayed, when he died, he fall into hell. And that's why inside the hell, right? He on his head, he wear the ring of the iron ring with the fire on top of his head. And he also noticed that all in that hell, everyone in that hell also have the same iron ring fire also on their head as well. And he asked one of the hell god, right? Well, why each one of us have this guy? And you know what he said? Because all of you guys, when you still in the world, you are the one uh who were unfilial. That means disrespect to your parent.
Mm.
And this is the retribution that you have due to that. And you know what? At that moment, he realized that he and the bodhicitta mind arrived from him at that moment. That means the loving kindness or compassion arrived from him at that moment. He said that he said to himself, I wish that in the future I don't want to see anyone in the world who disrespect to their parent. I willing to take all this fire ring from all these people here. I willing to put on my own head. I willing to be the one who sustain all the suffering for other. And when he had that set in his mind, immediately he was reborn into heaven being. And you know what? All the ring from those people disappear as well. What from this teaching, what do you learn from here, William,
I
for the
would
story?
say um mainly, I guess simply when you give good, you get good. It's like a mutual exchange. But if you even if you don't get good, in my opinion, you're always gaining. Kind of towards the end where you said when he took on everybody's suffering, he was, I guess, put into heaven, but also everybody else's rings were gone too. So everybody gains here
Hmm.
when you uh give good.
Well,
Um,
is that the same thing with the people in this world when they do good deed? That is the same kind of deed that they compare to this former life of the Buddha. That means the one that make the wish that he the one that who willing to sustain all the suffering for other. Is that the same thing with the people the one who doing good deed in this world?
I wouldn't say the same level, but I would still say like, pretty much like the same basis.
Hmm.
I would think. Um, I think even no matter how small the giving is, it still holds such heavy weight. It still kind of holds the same merit to in my opinion, it
Hmm.
still holds the same merit,
What
no
is
matter
your
how small.
okay? That's good. What is your thought, William?
Yeah, about that intention versus like kind of common everyday good deeds of like things I see in my life. I mean, I think that our biggest example in our lifetimes would be someone like Mother Teresa, where
Hmm.
she really pursued helping other
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
and could have set herself up very nicely at some point, and she never did. She always was really took her motivation and her like her fulfillment from helping people. I think it's super rare that someone actually looks to have their satisfaction from helping someone else. Usually there's some other motivation beyond just lifting the suffering of someone else. So it's a when like those states arise of that sort of purity of intention and action, it's you know, in actually in this in the Santideva's text, they talk about how it being, I think it's in this one, being like a flash of lightning, that it's so rare
Hmm.
to have a really truly selfless vow or thought, you know.
Right. The selfless vow of pure intention, just like this the former line of the Buddha, right? He that means the thought of loving kindness and compassion come from him selfless. That means he never think about himself.
How do you gain that though? Like, how does one become selfless then?
When you
Just
think when we do things good for other, we don't consider the reward. We don't expect anything come back. We don't just like you don't want you don't expect okay, I do this because I want that. No,
unconditional.
unconditional love, right? This is called selfless, and the law of cause and effect in Buddhism doesn't matter we expect or not. The law always work accordingly to the law, even though we don't expect it, but the reward will come back to you anyway. But the reward come back to us without expectation. It will greater than the one that who expect the reward. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because one we have the expectation, our mind is already narrow. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
That therefore the reward come back. It narrow just like the mind that narrow themselves. And the one who do not have any expectation or any condition, well, that mind is very vast. The reward come back. It also will be corresponding to the mind as well. The body he give up is the body of the hell. The body he gain is the body of the heaven being. Through the consciousness of loving kindness and compassion, or we call the consciousness of the Bodhicitta, or you can call it mind. Okay. I hope I put in that way. That make sense to you?
Oh no, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just taking it all in. No, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So the physical body is everything depend on the mind. That's why when we after we die, right? The reincarnation, we have to be born into whatever the higher state or lower state depend on the power of the karma that we pray in many paths like up to now. or depend on at the moment before the near death, right? Situation, if we have the very pure consciousness, I mean the good quality of the mind that will help us to reborn in the highest state. Just like this the past life of the Buddha in the hell. The consciousness state, the near death, is very important. It will determine where we go. Otherwise, in common, ordinary people, they do not have the good consciousness mind state at the near death, because they are always be distracted by the pain that they have, right? It's so painful when we get sick, right? And we have to take medication, and the medication put us into sleep. And therefore, we do not easily have the pure intention or pure consciousness would help us to be born into the good realm. Therefore, we will be dragged down by the power of the karma. That the one will determine where we go, not the state of the mind. So there are two criteria that way we can be born. One is consciousness, but rarely the common people like us be able to use that consciousness. But most commonly, the power of the karma will be the one that lead us to the reborn. Okay. Okay. I think we stop right here. I hope that I help you a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super grateful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next week and the week after, I don't think we may. Okay, I think I can try to have the class. Okay. Next week, you busy too, all right, William?
Sunday night, everything should be done by then. Oh, no, it's Mother's Day. Yeah, Mother's Day dinner. Yeah, I'm gonna be out to Mother's Day.
Okay, next week we can skip the class because I'm also busy. But the week after, because we have a 10-day retreat at the temple, 11 day. But the week after that, yeah, Sunday, it's okay. Sunday. The week after that, let's say, what was that? What was that day?
Is that the 19th?
No, that's the 19th, that's right.
Isn't there something going on at the
Yeah, we have the Buddha birthday.
birthday? Yeah,
Yeah, I invite you to come. We are
Yeah.
welcome.
Of course. Thank you.
You can join us 10 o'clock. Okay. Okay. All right. You know how to get to the temple, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. All right. Okay. Let's stop right here. All right. William, go ahead.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Yeah. Namo Yidabak. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I see you on Sunday 19 at the temple at well, maybe in the class, right? Good, thank you.
Nice meeting you. And it's
Nice to
pronounced Rakaya.
Rakaya.
Rukaya.
Rakaya, nice.
Rukaya. Okay, thank you.
Right up.
Sometimes if I miss pronoun, please forgive me.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you.